Hi everybody, it's Dr. Holly Gunn again, board certified dermatologist and master of public health. I'm here with my kids to teach everyone how to treat warts at home with the assistance of a dermatologist in the office or via telemedicine, because we're doing that a lot right now because of COVID. And when COVID started, I noticed that my 8-year-old had 2 warts on her hand, and everyone was like, oh, gross, warts, oh my gosh. And I'm like, you guys realize your mom treats warts, right? It's like, this is like one of her funnest things ever. I love treating warts. I love getting rid of them. And warts come from a virus. That virus is super tricky and super good at what it does, because what it does is it gets in a little tiny tear in the skin, and then it builds itself up like a castle. And the only way to get rid of that wart and that castle is for the immune system, which is our system that runs through our body. They're like our little soldiers running around killing things that are bad. We need our immune system to get inside the wart castle and kill it off. So we can help it by bombarding the castle. We need to break that castle down so that way the immune system can get in there and kill the wart virus off. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you how to break down that castle, and we're also gonna talk a little bit more about prevention too, because this is a daughter of a dermatologist, and this is how we get warts, right? We're friendly with other people. Warts live on other people. If I had to guess, how did my daughter get a wart? Probably at school, probably handling other, like whether or not it's pencils or other books, something that she touched that someone else with a wart had touched, and that's how she probably got it. I see a lot of warts on feet, especially in the summertime, and think, oh, did I get it at the pool? Probably, but it probably wasn't in the pool or surrounding the pool, because chlorine kills the wart virus. So I have other children. I don't want them to get the wart virus from Madeline, but it may happen no matter how perfect you are. So you can be a germophobic, yet still get germs, so they happen. So this is a 1/4 cup of bleach. If they bathe together, which my kids are still at the age where, especially the twin 5-year-olds, they bathe together. They love it. They have a fun time. If they get a wart, or even when they had molluscum, because molluscum happens too, you can put a 1/4 cup of bleach and about a 1/2 tub of water, and that's such a little tiny amount that will kill the wart virus. If they're taking a shower, you can put a little bit of bleach in a spray bottle and spray the floor of the shower, and that should kill the virus as well. So that was a little bit about how to prevent it from spread and how it can spread. But I always tell people, don't rack your brain about how in the world did my child get a wart or how did I get a wart. Warts happen. We do think about them as grows as EBGBs, but it's really important to make sure that we don't get on to the one that does get the wart, because it's really not their fault. It's nothing that they really did. I would say it's important to tell them not to bite at the wart, because you see that and then they get around their mouth, not to pick at the wart, because that can spread it to other people, and also tell your parents. So I actually think she had it about a week before she told me. Now we have actually been treating this wart for about the 2 warts for about 4 days now. Go ahead and sit back down, Madeline. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little early how to pare the wart down. Now I am going to use an 11 blade because I'm not scared of sharp things, being a doctor. But you could also use nail clippers to get the dead skin, because that's what paring means. It means get the dead skin off the top of the wart. I could use a nail file that's disposable. Anything you use on this wart, throw away after the wart goes away. Do not reuse anything. I could also use a pumice stone to scrub the top of the wart and get the dead skin off, because we are going to make the top of that wart very, 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 very dead. But if you put medicine on top of dead wart, it doesn't absorb. So you have to get the top of the dead wart off. I am going to use a handy dandy 11 blade. But again, you can use anything sharp, so you can get a razor blade that's over the counter. So Madeline is nicely showing her little warts. I'm going to have a gauze here to catch the little wart droplets, because I don't want them all over the floor, spreading the wart around. And I'm just going to scrape the top surface of the wart, and you can see a little bit of that white dead wart coming off. You don't want to scrape them until they bleed. If they bleed, that's a live tissue, so you just want to scrape that dead tissue of the skin. You don't have to do it very aggressively, very lightly. They should feel it tickle a little bit, but they shouldn't feel anything that's painful. Okay. Don't do this part of it though until you've used the treatment for about 3 or 4 days and you've gotten a lot of dead tissue. Don't start off by pairing it up. I'm starting off the treatment today because again, she's been using it for about 3 or 4 days. Now, if you are trying to do wart treatment with over-the-counter products, salicylic acid is the product to get. Those over-the-counter cryotherapy guns, so freezing the wart over the counter, they do not work. They start at negative 50 degrees, which sounds really, really cold. If you come to the clinic, we may freeze it. We start at negative 200 degrees with liquid nitrogen. So those over-the-counter products, when it comes to the freezing guns, I don't recommend them, but yes to salicylic acid. But salicylic acid may take you 3-4 months to get rid of the wart, and I don't have the patience for that. If you call us or another dermatology office, we'll likely call in a compounded formula for you. So this is how my compounded formula came in. I got 2 of them from a local compounding pharmacy that I love. You do have to find one that will do Effudex for you, which is a chemotherapeutic agent. I love Effudex against warts because what it doesn't allow the wart to do is grow while you're treating it. And that's a reason why just plain salicylic acid doesn't work really well, because even though you're killing the top surface of it, it's still growing from underneath. So Effudex keeps it from growing underneath because it's a chemotherapeutic agent. A lot of people get scared that, oh my gosh, I'm going to put a chemotherapeutic agent on my child's wart. Well, yes, because you're only putting a little tiny bit on the wart, or even if they had a huge wart, so you can put a lot of it. It's just on the skin, so they're not going to absorb very much systemically. As long as you don't eat this or allow your child to eat it or allow your dog to eat it. This is actually lethal. There have been dogs that have gotten into other people's tubes of Effudex and died from it. So that is a little bit scary. So keep it in a safe place. Don't eat it. Don't get it in the eyes or the mouth, and you'll be safe. And this works really, really fast. I still say a month. Wart viruses are really, really mean, and they are really, really hard to get rid of. If you're thinking you're going to get rid of the wart in a couple of days, it just doesn't work like that. So I would love it if it did. Lucy's going to hand me some Aquaphor. You want to protect the skin that's healthy around the wart before you do treatment. So anything that's greasy, plain old Vaseline, petroleum jelly, or Aquaphor, you're going to put that around the wart. So you're going to encase the wart. So normal skin, you're going to rub Vaseline all around the normal skin. And you're going to leave an opening in the middle of that Vaseline protection right where the wart is. And that way this stuff isn't spreading further than it needs to go, because I do see a lot of people come in who's really aggressively treating, and you can tell that the medicine is kind of spread everywhere and you're not sure where was the wart in the first place. So we have encased the wart with Vaseline. This one has a really cool pump. So now we're just going to put a little tiny bit of this medicine on the end of a Q-tip, and we're going to just dab this medicine. We're going to cupcake layer. Okay, we're going to cupcake layer the top of that wart, 2 warts with the medicine. So you want enough medicine where you can see it on the top of the wart. And now Band-Aids. And now we're going to cover this area with Band-Aids. I am not going to allow Madeline to wear the Band-Aid all day long because, again, I don't want that Band-Aid sign. But I at least want the medicine time to be able to absorb into the skin. So I'm going to cover this with Band-Aid, and in an hour or so, I'm going to let her take it off. I'm going to tell her to be careful, whatever she's touching, wash it afterwards. And I've warned her sisters not to touch other things that Madeline's using right now so we don't spread the virus around. So we are going to keep doing this same routine daily. We're being really aggressive, and sometimes when we remember, we're doing it twice daily. So they had actually sent me 2 of my favorites. This is now Dara mixed with cimetidine, which is actually a reflux medicine that they found was effective for warts, plus salicylic acid. So sometimes we're doing this in the morning and the Effudex at night, and we're doing it twice a day when we can think about it. I think that things for twice a day for kids are really hard when we've got a busy homeschooling schedule. And Lord knows we need some downtime ourselves too. But we are doing this once a day, if not twice a day, where we just keep paring it down, putting on the medicine, and if you stick with it, the wart will go away. If you take a break for a day or two, that is not a big deal. If you take a break for a week or two, that is a big deal. If you take a break for a month and it goes back to where it was before, that's like starting from square one. So the key to treating the wart is keep going until you can't tell if there's wart there anymore. Take a break from it. If you start seeing the wart grow back, you just keep hitting it again. If you keep doing that, I promise you, you will get rid of the warts within a couple of weeks as opposed to a couple of months, and prevent the spread to other people as well as the rest of your family. Thank you for watching.